Klingon in red. Show me both them dicks.
These crash close-ups, they fucking suck. Get that crash close-up off my face.
Red alert! Set an intention. Go to Salon Trek.
We're also thrilled to announce that we now serve Raktajino.
Hoopla!
Ahoy, hoy, friends, and welcome to the Salon. Pop a bottle, get ready for some theater, some trauma dumping. That's right. Tonight we are talking about Star Trek Starfleet Academy Season 1, Episode 8. Before we do the podcast things, we are live in all the podcast places at Salon Trek. We also have a Patreon with some fun bonus episodes at the $5 level. But if you're not on the $5 level right now, you can be for free. Well, that's right. We are doing a free month. So go to our Patreon, patreon.com/salontrek, join for free, and then you will see a post with a link to get a free month of the $5 level. We have a bonus episode coming out tomorrow for February, so get excited about that. And I threw myself off by doing things differently, and so we're just going to move forward. Listen, it's been a rough couple of weeks. We've been through it. Tareem is going to make it everybody's problem, including us. So let's talk about it. To help us process, here's my co-host, Trevor. Process with booze, that's right.
My theater class is an Inarita.
Speaking of theater, William, how are you?
I'm good. The resident theater professional.
Yes.
I literally have a copy of Our Town right next to me.
She needs no introduction because she already had one. Here's Krista.
That glass was full a second ago.
And speaking of full, of delight, of joy, of wisdom, it's Joanne.
I thought it was going to be a fat joke for a minute.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Like, do I have to fight you, Daniel?
Can you imagine?
I would like to see it. I would like to see it.
I would sell tickets.
Starting next month on the $100 Patreon, we are going to have the Salon Fight Club. Episode 1 is Joanne versus Stan.
The cage match.
For $75, you just get to watch Joanne make Stan cry.
It would not be hard. I'm sure Joanne could destroy me very easily. Friends, let's get this group therapy session going by setting an intention.
This is obvious, but don't forget to set an intention when you light it, or you're just going to be wasting the wax.
If you insist. To set an intention tonight, I thought it would be fun if we went around the room and discussed who we thought from the Trek universe would most benefit from Lieutenant Tilly's theater class. As always, I will start us off by sharing that the little guy, Alexander Rozhenko, I think he's got some issues. I think they're all related to his daddy, his not great daddy. And I think the little guy could use some help. I don't want to know what play Tilly would use to help him through all of his... It's probably an entire playwright's collection of something. Alexander. It's my story and I'm sticking to it. Joanne, my love. Who needs Tilly's help?
You know, as much as it pains me to say this, Geordie LaForge absolutely needs theater therapy. You know, he's carrying a lot in addition to being thirsty for love, right? So, yeah.
In all the holographic places.
In all of the holographic places, looking for love.
Not looking to nub. No, you didn't. I can't.
An old deep cut. An old
Yeah,
deep
it was.
cut.
Yeah, it was. Krista?
I couldn't really. I think they all need therapy, but
You're not wrong.
I'm going to go with. I have two. One, Garrick, because I would just like to see Tilly and Garrick interact. Like I think that would be interesting.
Agreed.
And just on a misogynistic level or a patriarchy level, I'd like to see Kamala from The Perfect Mate
Oh.
sit with Tilly. And I think that might actually make Tilly's head come off of her neck. I think that might actually be more of a challenge for her than Garrick.
Might be more than she can handle.
Mostly they all need, because they're all that's like the through line for every single person involved in Star Trek. They're all damaged. They're all damaged.
There's a current of dysfunction. William?
Yeah, I mean, Chris has stole mine. I was going to say Garrick, and then the chat stole Roe. So, I mean, it's fine. It's fine. I someone who, I know, bastards. I mean, like, really any of them, I don't know. Seska, who knows? Just throw anyone into it.
Ooh, Seska's good.
Seska's a good answer.
She's got some problems. She's playing characters. That'd be an interesting run, at least.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Her dysfunctional relationship with Maj Kala, it deserves some.
Yeah, weird.
We know she's into theater. Like she did that the rewrite of Tuvok's Hollow novel.
Right.
Training simulation.
In all the deadly ways, yes. Stanley?
I am so thankful that Will did not take my answer because it gives me the opportunity to prop him up in a way. I'm going to say the original Big Red, Beverly Crusher, because she needs to deal with her drinking problem. And I think
truly.
Tilly's
I don't know
of
of any plays that will help with alcoholism, but we can do some role play.
Yeah. Cat on a hot tin roof, maybe? No.
Yeah. Most plays I've been have led to alcoholism, but yeah.
What if it's Phantom, but the Phantom, or like Christine is booze, and he's just,
Oh my God. It's just her.
Instead of singing for me, it's drink for me.
She could be Audrey 2 in Little Shop.
Yeah. Feed me. Drink, give me booze. I also love that this is not the first time that Little Shop and Audrey 2 have come up on the Salon as we're discussing Starfleet Academy.
Oh yeah, huh? Oh, well.
Theater. Excellent intentions. They are set. Y'all, let's get into this episode with our top 5. I will kick off this portion of our episode. I really enjoyed this episode. I needed a rewatch for enjoying some aspects of it, some scenes. I will admit, Tarima drives me up a wall. But I love what she's bringing to this show. It's an in-universe thing. I think the actress is doing a great job. I find the character frustrating in a couple of ways, but that's trauma. That's how trauma manifests itself. I loved that this episode brought dealing with trauma, not immediate. I think this episode coming 2 episodes after the traumatic event makes a whole lot of sense. These things aren't linear. I love Tilly. I loved how they utilized Tilly. I love that she wasn't there to solve a science problem. And everything with the doctor really, really got me. And my time is up, but I have a lot more to say about this episode. Will?
Yeah, I mean, what a wonderful episode. I mean, it does the thing that, like, I think Discovery tried to do, and it ended up coming off melodramatic with people dealing with trauma and how that manifests, and how people around them people around how people try to help each other through it. And I think this episode is a good did it right in a way where it felt earned for the characters, and it felt like there's I'm gonna butcher this, but this was like a wonderful episode. The first time they nailed trauma correctly, the first time they nailed dealing with it in like these young people, and it felt earned. It didn't feel like this thing was happening to them, and then it, like how it kind of happened a few times in Discovery. So it's nice that this was a wonderful episode. I think the beginning, there's a lot of setup, and then it kind of delivers at the end. And the Doctor is not one of my favorite characters in Voyager, but I really enjoyed this, and I thought Robert Picardo gave a really stellar performance. So great build-up, great payoffs. Everything felt really earned. Just wonderful, wonderful episode. Krista?
God, there are so many things. I think what I will say is what I said before we went live, is that this show may fall into the franchise, but it is not designed to be about the franchise. It's designed to actually be about the people. It's not about the bells and whistles. It's not about the other planets. It's really about the nature of human beings and or living organisms and how they interact with one another. It doesn't have a Trekkie feel to it. And I say that as a good thing, because I think that can merge into tropey and it can undermine messages. And this show makes it more it resonates with people that are possibly not fans of every single show in the franchise or dedicated viewers. It touches something in everybody. And I think it's very deliberate. And I appreciate that they're going less on the science and the space of it all, and more into the cosmos of human interaction and consciousness and how you facilitate your existence within this space thing. I don't know if I explained it well, but yeah. Joanne.
No, I think we're on the same page, Krista. They're telling a human story and dealing with the human condition in the context of Star Trek. And I honestly, actually, I think that that's a very Trek tradition. It is less about, I think historically Trek has been less about the bells and the whistles, but how do we navigate our lives in the midst of this universe, right? And how do we deal with the issues and questions that plague us all? I really enjoyed this episode. I was full on crying by the end, and it does for me what Discovery always did. Even when Discovery kind of failed in execution, they always, I thought, got the emotional beats right, and I think this does that well. It shares that DNA. I'm with you, Stan. I struggle a little with Tarima as well, maybe for different reasons. But I also love that they are still dealing with the trauma. Grief is not, linear in how we process trauma and loss. We process it as long as we need to process it, even if that's the rest of our lives, right? So I love that that's become sort of the ongoing theme that they're sort of dealing with. So I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it a lot. So, Trev?
Yeah, I think I loved that the most YA thing about this episode, and really this series, but this episode in particular, is that it's approaching these things as though these people are in fact young adults. They went through this horrific trauma. They went through something terrible, traditionally Star Trek would have been like, okay, that happened, but you're a Starfleet officer, so buck up and we move on. And it's just not realistic. I mean, we've talked on this, it's been a while since we brought him up, but young Jeremy Astor is like 10 years old on the Enterprise D, gets sat down and told, hey, we know your dad died a couple years ago. Also, your mom just blew up. And he's like, I'm all alone, aren't I? And like, that's the emotional reaction. And we're like, what the fuck? Like, what is wrong with this psychopath? And Gene's vision was that children would just process grief differently. It was bad. It was just a bad way of dealing with situations like this. So that these young folks are navigating situations in a way that makes sense, I really, really enjoyed. I'm going to run over for a split second just to say that Tarima, I want to be annoyed with her. And I said this to Stan earlier today. We were texting about this episode. Every time I'm ready to be annoyed because of a particular choice that either the director or the actress makes, suddenly there's a complete 180 and I feel the exact opposite. And suddenly she's doing something or experiencing something that is my favorite thing that she's done ever. And she just keeps sort of, okay, I don't know if this triggers an alert or not, but she just keeps topping herself. Probably not. But there are weird choices. There we go. That one works. There are weird choices that the actress sometimes makes, but then she somehow makes up for it. And I'm really, really enjoying it, particularly the drunken bottle scene. I mentioned this in the comments on the Text Trek first reaction stream. We've seen that scene with the obnoxious drunk person swinging a bottle, and they're usually a young person, a million times. It's always a man. It's always a guy who's pissed off about something that happened, and he's drinking his feelings away, and he's slurring his words, and he's the first time that we've ever seen a woman in that scene, at least that I recall, and Star Trek is doing it, and that it was Tarima, Little Miss Princess, was actually kind of great. So
now hang on.
Wow.
Don't you pull a Star Trek Picard and forget about Rafi's trauma. Because they do like to throw her in, ruin her sobriety, and then forget about it. So I don't blame you. I blame Terry Metalis.
But every time it was, whenever Rafi was experiencing an episode or a setback or a whatever we want to call it, it wasn't that scene. She wasn't stumbling, and she was experiencing a relapse. So it was done differently. The standing up with the bottle in the hand and kind of giving what for to whomever is receiving the dialogue is a uniquely male thing that hasn't been done in a very long time, and I've never seen it done with a woman. So I really enjoy
Troy
it.
enters the chat.
We don't have time to talk about time. This isn't the time.
You know what it is time for? It's time for group therapy. Let's talk about the therapy of this episode. The captain sees a problem, and she brings in Big Red. She brings in Tilly. These people have gone through something. They have counselors. Like they're going. Like my presumption through dialogue is, at least some of these characters have gone to traditional therapy sessions. They've probably had some chats with folks. The captains have given speeches, but like we just talked about, it's not linear. Sometimes you can't hit the thing head on. You got to go a roundabout way to really let it click. And the way we're going to do that is through theater. Thespians. And we're going to bring in our secret weapon, that is Lieutenant Sylvia Tilly. I want more of her, but if they're going to hold her back for whatever reason, if it's storytelling, if Mary just wants to come in once in a while, doesn't want to be Tilly all the time, because my presumption when this show was announced is like, oh, she's going to be a main character, and then it went a different way. But the way they utilized her in this episode was really delightful in a couple of ways. Number one, I loved her scene with Tig and Holly in Captain Ake's office. I thought it was wonderful. Like, You can see that the captain's going through it too. And she's doing the traditional, like, I'm just going to get through it. I'm going to push through because I have something else that I need to deal with. And she's brought in Tilly. I loved that scene with them having a drink, recognizing you all have been through this. What got you through? Starfleet. Really cute moment. And then using the play to get them to actually talk about shit. And the last thing I'll say about this before I just open the floor and then we let the discussion flow, like words in a page for the play. I loved her clocking Tarima's ass. I loved it because, like I said earlier, I think Tarima is like, I like what she's adding to the show. I find her frustrating. Like if I were her friend, I want to shake her and be like, girl, I get it, but we gotta, like, not everybody hates you. You keep saying everybody, but this close circle around you is actually being pretty cool with you. So like, stop being a bitch to us. Like, I want to be her friend to be like, stop being a bitch to me. I get it. You went through something rough. Let's get through it. Her stuff with Genesis was lovely. And Tilly clocking her was great. Great. Krista.
Yeah. Teresa is difficult for me.
I'm sorry, who?
Whatever her fucking name is.
Teresa, did you already finish your bowl of wine?
I did. I finished my carafe.
All right, I'm so sorry. Talk about Teresa.
And I ordered another. What is her name?
Tarima.
I think it's tiramisu.
Tiramisu. So my issue with tiramisu is that it's very difficult to watch a scene between and Caleb and having it like her trauma supersedes everybody else's trauma, and the guy in the room has accumulated quite a bit of trauma. Like I get that you're kind of angry and you're bulling a China shopping how all this is going on and you want people close to you, but you're pushing them away. And I get the whole thing. But again, apropos of what I said last week, how you intend something is not more important than the result of that something. And we tell men that constantly. It's a constant refrain that we tell men, and I have yet to hear her acknowledge that she kind of violated him. I have yet to, it seems like we're just going to go with, she's got a new implant and she doesn't get to go to the war college and she doesn't get this, that, and the other thing. And it's kind of like, well, I find it difficult to sympathize with her because comparative to Caleb, there's no comparison in terms of like, if we're having trauma Olympics, there's no comparison. And I didn't need her. Give me something more. Like I just don't need that storyline. Can you give me something with Genesis? Genesis has eldest sibling energy. She's like everybody's confidant, and that's the extent of it. She flubbed her recommendation papers. That's her big sin. Can you give me something more with her? Can you invest in her as much as you've invested in Ghost Girl? And it's probably not popular, but I'm not interested in the pretty troubled girl. Show me the girl that is nurturing everyone around her, that is everyone's confidant, that's everyone's port in a storm, and that's all you've given us of her. Like, can I get something more from her, for her?
I think the only thing that might redeem that situation is that in this episode, this is something else I texted Stan today. Stan, we should have just posted our text message chain from.
Well,
but I was having issues with tiramisu as well, and I realized that in this episode, at least, and I'm hoping this plot point stays for the remainder of the series, she was more of a mirror of what they were going through.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yes, we were all attention was paid to her, but it was driving everyone else to kind of expose and deal with what they had experienced. So at least she was a vessel for more than just, let's just watch this girl scream. Like, at least she was causing all of them to realize that they had experienced something as well and that they needed to deal with it because they weren't.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying it saved it. I'm just saying it's hope.
As frustrated as I found myself with her, because I saw it a couple of different ways. The like, oh, I have to go to Yale instead of Harvard. Oh no! But then, like, that choice was taken from her. Like, that's something about the episode. Like, Real World kind of bothered me a little bit. Like, I wanted a little more explanation about why her condition means no more war college. They give us a little bit, I just needed more. I'm like, why? Like, why does she have to focus on science? If she does combat trials, is she going to kill herself? Like, what's happening? So I could have used more there, but with her generally, the bitch just get over it side of me is like, you're still at Starfleet Academy. You're still a president's daughter. Everybody who matters to you in your direct classes is being really kind. Yes, it took him a minute, but your kind of boyfriend did reach out to you, and now you're being kind of a cunt to him for no reason, except when you drink. Oh, you might have a drinking problem. And then I remember when I was in therapy at one point, I was like, I was talking about, I forget what I was talking about, but then I was like, man, I feel stupid even complaining about this. And my therapist had to be like, hey, look, like, the word trauma gets thrown around a lot. Trauma isn't just assault, murder. Like, getting dysregulated by a thing can result in trauma. So we are here to talk about that. And so I see the real world of, like, choices were taken from her. People are treating her different. She keeps saying everybody. It's clearly not everybody. I think that's one thing that was bothering me. She wasn't she was in the thick of it. And I was trying to remember that. Like, she is having a trauma response herself to what she went through. She also, they didn't really talk about this, but I think if I were in her shoes, no matter the circumstances, that I killed 4 living beings would fuck with me. It's like, it's that line, it's not the right thing, it was the necessary thing. That
she didn't
that
just kill them. I mean, it was not. It
was not gentle.
It was a lot.
Yeah,
it was a lot.
This is how I know I'm so inappropriate, because I'm like, if I had the ability
right,
to blow up bitches' heads,
preach.
I would be like, bitch, who are you looking at?
What is your fucking problem with it? Yeah.
I was like, I would be walking through that atrium like, I am Tapenade Jones. Don't fuck with me.
Tapenade.
That's not at all inappropriate.
This
it's
is the
not
kind of
at
shit that
all.
makes me
I reject the idea that there's something wrong with you for that.
Not at all. Noted. If
also,
we have a scary situation in the future, or a tiramisu situation.
But Caleb comes to her and she puts him in a situation again where it's like, no, whatever decision he makes is going to be the bad decision. No matter it's kind of like, for me, I was watching it and I guess in my colored memories, my multicolored memories, I was kind of like, God, I remember this, and I really don't want to. I don't want to watch it. I don't want to relive it. I don't want to. I had braces. Let's not talk about it. Let's just forget it ever happened. And so for me, it really triggered like, oh my God, I can remember when I was at just fucking stupid. Just
Dramatic.
Dramatic and stupid, and everything was about me. And, you know, it's no.
Tarima and Caleb as a couple are giving me that couple on House Hunters that we all hate, where like they walk in and she's like, it's like a 10 by 10 walk-in closet, and she's like, well, this would barely hold my things. Where are you going to put your stuff? Like, you just want to knock her over, and because you know where he's putting his stuff, in the neighbor down the street. So like she needs to reel it in with respect to it's all about me, because it's just not working.
I don't like the color. Then paint it, bitch. Like, do something about it. Stop whining.
But
all these words and Joanne would just blow up their heads.
Yes.
You called it when you said she was kind of, it was Mavis, get down. That she was, you know, she's a princess. She's a little princess. And
it's pretty white girl privilege making every.
It really is. It's very. It's tough to watch. It's tough to watch.
That's something I texted Trevor. I was like, "Do you think this is on purpose, or because like they cannot be writing white girl allegory into Star Trek?"
I do think it's their intentional choices, kind of to make her not unlikable, but to make her unrelatable. I do. Because again, we historically like to center those types. So by making her just kind of like where everybody is like, girl, calm down, right? Like, girl, check yourself, right? I do think those are choices, intentional choices by the writer's room.
And my girl Sylvia Tilly. Yeah, I'm here for the applause, bitch. Sit down and answer my question. Actually, you do need to answer it. I fucking love Tilly.
She's so awesome because she uses her not all straight people. She uses her optimism that makes everyone sick. She uses it as a weapon, but also as a kind of like a distraction. Like, you're thinking she's all nice and optimistic and happy, and then she comes out with a zinger where you're just like, well, fuck. That's effective. That's effective. It knocks you off your game. It disrupts your micro expressions. It fucks with your armor. And she was doing it with all of them. And I like it, but I don't think that would play well. The role that she played tonight would play well as a permanent role, like on the show. Like, they'd have to give her something else.
They've utilized her in this way enough.
Yeah, I think Tilly's secret weapon, I think, is a good use for her, where she comes in to deal with something like that. I think is really smart. There was something about Tilly's character where you could tell that she had matured. Like, that optimism felt more like honed and perfected, and like the way she engaged with them, like this idea of her being very warm and very like cheerful and optimistic when she meets them, and then is very like immediately very down to earth, very grounded, very like, this is the reality of your situation. Like, when she was reading Pterodactyl in the stands, like she was like, why are you doing, like, immediately went from like, oh, we're doing the play, oh, we're going to read parts, oh, this is fun, to then like being very upfront with them about it. So like, I think using her in this way, I think, is super smart, super, super, super smart.
I loved the idea that that all of those positive virtues, even the grounded ones, are sort of viewed as we can talk to her any way we like. And when you couldn't, she wasn't pulley crank. She was just relying on her experience to put them in their place. It had nothing to do with, excuse me, cadet, who the fuck do you think you're talking to? Like there was absolutely no use of that at all. It was all just wordcraft, and it was delightful.
Yeah.
Let's get to the parts that made us cry.
Well, hang on.
The other parts.
Real quick, I do want to acknowledge it's something that you had said earlier. Our girl Genesis, she's a girl's girl. That like I like that there was an acknowledgement of like, hey, I get why Caleb likes you. We're just friends. Like, yes, he thinks I'm hot, and he's hot. You're hot. We're all hot. We're all stupidly hot on this campus. Like that's just a given. But girl, we're just friends. And I loved that scene with them holding hands and her being like, "You're drunk, bitch. It's gonna be fine." Any other thoughts on group therapy before we cry?
No, I think this is the best ensemble we've had in like new Trek. Like I think this is the first time I feel like an ensemble has been made in a way where I'm like, I feel everyone, all of the characters' DNA have kind of formed into this group. Like it always feels a little off. Like even when we watch like the older shows too, it feels like there's always central characters, but there's like a default. Like it always kind of returns to them. But I feel like every character in this is really kind of brought in to have a relationship with people, and where you can see how they're going to be very interconnected with each other. Like if we watch like, TNG or Voyager even, it always kind of defaults back to Janeway, Doctor, and then Seven. So it kind of just fluctuates between the three of them. And like they had this huge ensemble of people, and we rarely got much in terms of their interactions with each other in an episode that's really focused on other people, but it shows how their relationships are very important to the character and the arc that's happening throughout the episode. So it's lovely. I think they're writing them very well and utilizing their new created characters and their legacy characters very well, because the legacy
they're
characters
leaning into their premise really well. This is something you can anticipate. Like it's really going to happen. And I've wanted an episode like this in Trek, like from the jump, like the original series, like, oh, that guy just died. Ha ha ha. Like they literally laugh off like the red shirts at times. Mm-hmm. Like Deanna has a lot of good moments, but she also has some really rough moments as a therapist. Ezri's buffoonery in Deep Space Nine as a therapist always bothered me. And so having non-traditional therapy highlighted in such an effective way was really lovely to see in Trek. So, I'm sorry.
Regarding Ezri, are you suggesting that taking someone with claustrophobia and putting them in a closet that can look like a bigger space is somehow not great therapy?
Thank you for pointing that part out. I was also just thinking about her, like making it about her in her first conversation with Garrick. Oh yeah, I get space sick. Bitch, this isn't about you.
No, I just love.
You just got here.
I have claustrophobia. We'll come into this room on a space station that only has one door. Yeah. It's fine.
I get space sick, and I'm in Starfleet. What?
Wasn't she the one whose ancestral home was like in the middle of a nuclear waste dump?
Yes.
Basically,
seriously, am I going to take advice from somebody who's like
grew up in a junkyard,
striving to get back to the nuclear waste dump that is her palatial palace?
Her family are rich because they turned this planet into a dump.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Strip miners.
Yeah.
So this episode opened up with the Doctor.
Crackers.
Mother crackers.
I'm drunk.
I believe that's a RuPaul reference.
is a RuPaul reference.
The
Yes,
drunkenness
if you
and
watch the
talking.
RuPaul, if you watch
If
the
you watch
RuPaul,
the RuPauls, you'll know.
you will know.
If you watch
RuPaul
the
is
Drag
an
Race theme,
environmental terrorist. I know that quote.
I do watch the RuPauls, and I envy their makeup skills. They are peak. That's probably not why I'm supposed to be watching it, but I'm the oldest fucking person on the screen, so.
Currently.
And I'm drunk. Mavis?
Are you older than me? I thought we were the same age. Okay.
No, I'm older than you.
Okay. We'll
I'm
talk about it later.
60. You're
Oh,
Goodbye,
are you?
babe.
Okay.
yeah.
She just looked
Okay.
good.
This is my life. This is my life. Living
Currently.
every fucking second of it. Yep.
Krista's 60, but she goes through life constantly moving forward. So her face just pulls back a little.
Into 61.
I love that this just turned into a group therapy session about aging gracefully. So this episode opened up with the doctor's personal log. Like Will said earlier, I love Robert Picardo. I love the doctor generally. Some of his episodes would grind my gears. Like some of the doctor's, not his acting choices, but the doctor, like the doctor was a fucking creep. It was the 90s. I loved the doctor in this episode. I loved that Robert Picardo had the opportunity to evolve this character. I love that they were able, like they evolved the character in Prodigy, and they were able to do it here. And I thought his opening log was such a good storytelling device to not only remind us that he's a hologram, he's been around for centuries, but also let us in on the fact. And like, I should have known this already, but it really clicked for me today. He reminded me of Janet in The Good Place in the way that he was describing his memory. For him, 800 years ago was 5 minutes ago. It was yesterday. And so, you know, when we get the reveal that part of his problem is that he's still grieving the loss of his daughter, like without that opening scene, one might be like, it's been 800 years and he's still, well, for him, it was yesterday. And that's an important aspect of being photonic. It's just wonderful. And him and Carice and Holly, like those scenes were just very powerful. I'll leave it there for now. Who wants to talk about Sam dying specifically?
That moment. Yeah, I think because we got like we kind of made like some early predictions in like the pilot episode and the few that had the doctor in them, where like why he was so upset with Sam and why he didn't want to mentor her, but kind of tying it back to an episode that really is like that episode. Like I actually ironically watched it over the weekend. I put Pluto TV on and just put Voyager on, and like as I like clean and do stuff, and like the man cannot have a family. Like he tried to make one because he's like, I'm photonic, I can't have one on this ship, you know, Voyager, which potentially could be a generational ship, and he's going to be the one to care for everyone, but like he doesn't have a family that cares for him. So like this idea he couldn't really have one, and like the tragedy around that episode, yeah, it really was B'Elanna. But like it's pretty devastating. So like to have him be like the burden of eternity, and like watching the people you care about kind of perish around him as he remembers it if it's yesterday, but it's been, you know, 1,000 years, when, you know, 800 years since he's been with like his, you know, the Voyager crew has been, most of them theoretically been dead for 700-800 years at this point. So that being the reason's far more interesting than it being like, oh, she's like a photonic from this other planet. And like we'll talk about, I love the cast. Like considering last season I was really underwhelmed, last episode I was really underwhelmed with Darum's planet. This was like, I was like, that was really give me this shit, that giant I wanted to roll it and like get
Nat 20
initiative. Yeah, I was like, I was ready to roll. I was like, Mama, space D&D, let's go. Like it was crazy. So yeah, super cool. But the
Come on,
moment. That's
Chiwetel.
what it gave me immediately. I was like, yes, let's do it. But
Give
yeah,
me a charisma check.
yeah,
That Oscar winner.
Ooh, plus 5, Mama. I got a plus 5 charisma. But yeah, it was. I thought it was a more interesting choice. It makes that character a little more tragic instead of like, I live forever. Okay, cool, bye, and then giving him a family, like in a way where it was like someone who was not ready to go through that again, and then choosing the other person, choosing that child to save that person versus it being a choice for him. He's making it for someone else. I think is very selfless, and something the Doctor does as like a doctor. He chooses to save people, but like in a way saving himself. I don't know. I thought it was really lovely and a really wonderful moment for the Doctor, and a character that I like found deeply annoying on Voyager most of the time, and finally getting a good like run of stuff with him.
And I didn't rep on him, and they leaned into Trek fathers because he did forget about his son, it seems.
Yeah. Well, he kind of mentioned it a little bit when they're on the show. He's like, I have a whole family, and it's like, okay, but where are they? You know,
I'm just kidding. I'm just being a bitch about Worf.
Yeah.
Really.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. Worf,
always.
Yeah. But yeah,
Trevor's making a face. He's disapproving.
Well, the show.
Okay.
Bitch, that's just my face.
Yeah. It just does that. She's got that stank face. Leave her alone.
I just disapprove.
I
generally
don't like anyone. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. It's really, I think this show's doing well with building lore and looking back to pull forward that kind of, they gave us the thesis of this season or the series pretty early on. And I think they've definitely called back to that a lot. And I think in very effective ways thus far.
Actually, I was going to bring this up. And so Voyage's fan film in the chat brings this up as well. Says, I'm on the fence about this one. I think the connection to real life, the episode title, might have been too much of a deep cut, probably because it never dealt with in the show. So it felt to me a bit left field than say the loss of his entire crew. I wondered about that, but because I've had this on in the background and rewatched it, I do think that they've breadcrumbed enough in this season of it where I can get there. I'm like, he's not just, he's highlighting the loss of his daughter specifically in that moment because Sam literally dies in front of him, and he's realizing, oh, I could have done more to at least comfort her in these final moments. That's the specific reminder of his daughter, but the infinite nature of his program, I think he's also talking about loss generally. His crew from Voyager A, from the Protostar, and like literally 8 centuries. I think they could have thrown in a couple of more things, like something about like, you know, I tried having a wife 200 years ago. Something like that would have distracted it.
Yeah, I don't think all of that was necessary because I think it was kind of parallel to Sam. Like, we never know what that one event is that we hold on to, that one bit of thing that we carry all of our lives trying to manage, and then something happens in the day that triggers you, and you're back in that moment again.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was actually very kind of poignant that he's been holding on to this kind of particular loss for infinity, right? For his entire existence. And that these moments that Sam brought this up again for him to kind of go through the cycle of grief again. So I think that's why, because it's not a generalized, I mean, yes, there are issues, I love the line him saying to the Lanthanite, right? This infinity problem that we have was that was such a nice turn of phrase. I'm paraphrasing it poorly, but y'all know what I mean. But it was not a generation of loss that he's dealing with. It was this particularly deep, painful moment of loss that he's carried with him, and it's informed and influenced who he is and shaped him. And so, but now he's right back at that moment, like it was 5 minutes ago. So I think that's why it wasn't necessary to make this about all of the loss he's experienced.
Yeah. Krista?
I sort of interpreted that his loss informed Sam's trauma. That was the catalyst for her trauma because it prevented him from reaching out to her. And what I love about Sam is that she's the only character in the entire series that really is in the moment. She has there's no she's literally in the moment. And the thing about it, the thing that struck me was that the entire episode was saying, it's the mundane things. It's the things you take for granted. It's the things that are easily overlooked that are important. But by the same token, noticing those things are also a risk. So Sam is like a Kierkegaardian loop. It's all too much with her because she has no facility to reconcile any of it. Whereas all these other people have childhoods, they have parents, they have loss, they have all this other stuff. For her, it's all immediate. Every single second is immediate. She's living everything immediately. And so the idea that you need to live in the now being ideal, but in order to do so, the risk is extreme is kind of what I thought her story was. That it was her job, it's her remit, it's the thing that, like, even when she said, let's do theater, and she was like, theater. I mean, she's so funny and she's so full of joy because she's in the moment. She doesn't carry all this baggage. And
there's a reason she's Tilly's favorite immediately.
Yeah. So
and Chancellor Ake clocks her too. She's so full of joy.
It'll be very interesting to see what episode 9 brings, given that she now has arguably a very happy childhood program, but is it going to make a difference? And I love Sam, and I was ready to riot if Sam dies. But her example is the risks of living in the now, as well as the joys of living in the now, and how all of these students that are in this play are living in the. Could you please get down, Mavis?
Mavis has a lot to say this week.
Mavis is living in the now.
Mavis is really living in the now that is my asshole.
So he says to Mavis, I says, get down.
Get down, Mavis. But I think that's the message. That, yeah, ideally you live in the now. But you also have to understand that there's a risk in living in the now. There's immediate pain. There's immediate risk. There's immediate everything. And most of us prefer to live in the past. And that's why it's all colored. It's all pretty. It's all filled in. It's all almost rewritten.
I am very curious, though. I am very thankful we didn't see what happens in her childhood that teaches her resilience. Because the whole point of her needing a childhood was you have a boo-boo, you fall down, somebody dies probably, a friend has an argument. I am very thankful we did not see, yes, she's photonic, but this is a young Black girl. I am very thankful we did not see a young Black girl's trauma, but I am curious what kind of resiliency Sam is going to be bringing forward in the next couple of episodes, now that she has had this childhood. It's a really cool sci-fi take on birth, rebirth, resiliency, and growth. I'm excited to see where the character goes.
Not to take away from Sam's story, but I'm also curious because I too did not enjoy the Doctor much in Voyager. I'm curious to see how his character changes, just because we've seen what Robert Picardo can do. So it'll be fun to see how he portrays this shift, just as she portrays the shift just as Carice does for Sam. And I'm really excited to see Carice and Robert working together. Like
Yeah,
I just this
so good.
dynamic, the shift in the dynamic of their characters is going to be has the potential to be phenomenal. So we have no idea because we haven't seen ahead, but it would be. I'm hoping that it's something that's as enjoyable as I'm imagining it to be.
But it was also a childhood in isolation.
Well, that's something like we only saw snippets of it. My presumption is that
it's on their world, so there's other
photonics. Like there were
Yeah.
other photonics that she could interact with, although like
they don't seem fun.
Like they don't seem fun. Yeah.
It's no Salon.
Yeah. And her homecoming to Starfleet Academy was so lovely. Like all those hugs, including Tarima. Like it got mentioned in the chat on another stream that like Tarima's inner circle has changed. Like she now has this close-knit crew, but it's new to her. Her close-knit crew in theory was over at the War College. And so even just one day, I mean, they had all interacted plenty, but like the 1 to 3 days of them being roommates was enough for her to feel for Sam, and their hug at the end, like their trauma bonding coming together in a physical hug. Like this episode, it just weaved things so well, and like literally weaved the A and the B plot together through hugs, through the power of hugs, and
lighting
and theater
and lighting. Yes,
and lighting. Oh God, the chef's kiss.
That got me.
What have we not talked about that we need to talk about? This episode was pretty straightforward.
Can I just say for the doc, because I didn't watch Voyager, so for the doctor,
get ready.
So for the doctor, as a non-familiar viewer, it actually was helpful to have those vignettes where it, like I was like, oh, my immediate thought was, oh, they'll understand, they'll explain it to me. Like I almost like I didn't have to know because I knew y'all would understand because y'all watched it. So but I still think it was enough for the the read to walk in and
it's going to be interesting when we do our Voyager Thumb War. Spoiler alert for our audience. That's coming up post Starfleet Academy, unless Paramount wants to announce a new show or something happening that we need to cover in the meantime. Every time we try to do a Voyager Thumb War, something hits the calendar. So I've now put this out into the universe. Tomorrow we're going to hear Strange New World Season 4 is coming in May. But I'm excited for you to see Voyager generally, but also for you to see the Doctor now that you've seen him in this iteration.
Hey, I love him on
different.
Twitter. He's great on Twitter. He claps back.
Yeah.
He's
I'm glad you brought that up too. Thank you again, Krista.
You're welcome.
You all know I've been on a tirade about like going after the trolls. Because too often people are like, oh, don't feed the trolls, don't whatever. And like on their own channels, sure. But people being dicks about Trek on the official channels or just blatantly lying. There's one in particular that I keep seeing because I'm seeing Robert Picardo clapping back. Beautiful.
Name him. Is that douchebag?
The
John?
guy.
Is it Jon? That fucking douchebag. You're a fucking douchebag.
I don't remember his name. Like it's John something, and all I know is
that
he's a domestic abuser. Like he tweeted once about like this is the one episode that I actually think makes sense and makes me want to be in Starfleet. Starfleet officers don't beat their wives. You would never be allowed in Starfleet, John, whatever the fuck your name is. And I'm very appreciative of Robert Picardo clapping back on him because I'm sure his agents would probably prefer he not, and his courage is appreciated. Yeah, you're in for
Yeah.
a trip to the Delta Quadrant, Krista. It's going to be fun.
Yeah.
It's
No,
another
it's
female
not.
captain.
It's fun until it isn't, and then it kind of is okay, and then it's over.
It's all right.
It's not the
It has
best.
moments.
I
It's
understand
not the
there's
best road trip.
salamander babies. I don't even
It is
know.
moments.
That's camp though. That's now
Is that
crossed over to being
transition
bad.
day. What do they call
It's
that?
now-
Transition day.
Yes.
It's threshold day. How dare you?
Threshold.
It's
I
threshold
knew it
day.
started with a T.
Yes.
No,
Tiramisu. No.
Tiramisu. That's
Tiramisu
pterodactyl. That's
day.
with a P. But yeah, that episode goes from being like terrible to camp. It's like watching it now. It's really funny because you're like, this is ridiculous.
I have seen one episode of Voyager and it was very disappointing for me to see Kate Mulgrew go from captain to like in a planet in some kind of I don't know what's happening, but she goes back in time and her hair is all long and it's like desperately trying to be sexy and there's a listen.
It's
I'm
funny because I
convoluted
think I
right
know which
now.
episode you're
It's like-
talking about, but there are several possibilities.
There's a couple.
It was so bad that
Was she in a bookstore or on the beach?
no, there were like caves. There were caves, and there was a guy she had to like pretend to like, so she gets somebody out of another.
Oh,
That
yeah, it was-
factory thing, I think, or whatever.
Oh,
No, I think it's the one with like where she pretended to be the daughter,
with Joel Grey.
Yeah.
and B'Elanna and Tuvok were in prison.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah.
Resolution.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like you're asking me if I know the name. I can't even
No,
accurately describe it, let alone know the name. It's just
Caves. That clarifies
really
it.
large.
That Star Trek episode with caves.
Thanks,
Which one?
Betsy. Thank you,
Voyager's
Betsy.
Voyager's film. And Norman, thank you. Resistance.
Resistance.
Yeah, that episode.
It started with an R.
Trevor.
And then there's a couple like Seska episodes.
Which are always
Seska's
great.
on that show, right?
Yeah, Seska's
Yeah.
great.
And I was like, oh, she's
That
not a person.
reminds me, quick plug for Star Trek Voyager Across the Unknown. It's a new game out, super fun. It's basically a what if scenario. I'm thinking I might do a rerun of it for the channel, like on Mondays, like I was doing with Star Trek Armada a few months ago. Super fun. It's basically the Voyager trip home, but you're the one making choices, and based on your decisions, you have to rebuild the ship. You have to like have enough crew and resources for things. You can pull Seska back onto the ship, and it will push Chakotay away, apparently, which like I ended up not doing on my first run, but I thought about it. It's super fun. And
Is there an option to just pay people to handle it?
sometimes, yes. Usually by giving away food or duranium. Hey, Trevor,
What?
please land this shit before we crash it.
I'm sad to report, and I don't want you to do anything to change it, but there are no problematic gay alerts. Not a one. So we all behaved
no
ourselves.
problematic gays on this week.
We all behaved ourselves, so I think we know what that means. Just kidding. Love you, all of you who aren't here. Although Benji was here, but he wasn't problematic.
They're
Anyway,
not going to watch this to know we're talking about them. It's fine.
Benji's never problematic.
Yeah. Oh, no. Benji's in the chat. Benji gets it. And I love those bitches who aren't with us tonight, but they will never hear me call them bitches because they won't watch the show when they're not on
we
it.
call them bitches when they're here. It's fine. Anyway,
Exactly.
there were no problematic gay alerts. There were no problematic ally alerts. There was one Bev alert because bitch got a problem and needs help. And B'Elanna was the problem once. I gave 8,000 bonus points to Krista for popping bottles. I gave 8,000 bonus points to Joanne for being willing to throw down with Stan for views. I gave her an additional 800 bonus points for blowing up anyone who mildly inconveniences her. I gave 1 million bonus points to Will for declaring war on the Straits. I gave 500 bonus points to Benji for clocking caves. I gave 500 bonus points to Genesis Lythe for being stupidly hot but brilliantly wise. I gave 25 bonus points to Tiramisu for making your Star Trek debut. And last but not least, I took 2 million bonus points away from the RuPauls for fracking.
Y'all, this salon had everything. RuPaul references, Drunk Beverly, Dungeons and Dragons, and y'all, this is probably not a good thing, but just a quick acknowledgement of the news today. Paramount's probably buying Warner Brothers, so Duck Dodgers in the 24th and a half century. You guys, we actually already have Star Trek Legacy, as it turns out. That's not great. Warner Brothers shouldn't be for sale. Nobody's saying that, even though they should, because that's the society we live in. We're not going to end this episode on a downer, though, because Star Trek Starfleet Academy fucking slaps. We'll be back next week to talk about episode 9, directed by Jonathan Frakes. So you know it's going to be a banger from a banger season. So get excited for that. We will be back next Thursday. Until then, do as Tilly does and live life theatrically. Listen to Big Red and live long and prosper.
All hands abandon ship. Proceed to the nearest evacuation zone immediately.